Hey, what up, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to the CornbreadReturns YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming out, really appreciate it. And welcome to Let's Try, kind of, I don't know if this will morph into a full Let's Play, but it's certainly going to start as Let's Try Phoenix Point. It is a brand new game from Snapshot Games, and the real kind of thing about it is it's essentially a spiritual successor to XCOM, the XCOM series. The reason is because the original creator of XCOM, the guy who created it in 1994, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. I can post some details about it in the description below for sure. He's the one who created it. I think he started his own little studio, got some crowdsourced funding together, and basically is like, hey, I'm going to go create like a new version of the XCOM series called Phoenix Point. And people were like, cool. And they contributed to the campaign. I can't say that I did. I didn't know about it until it was well into its development cycle. But, you know, obviously right up my alley. I mean, turn-based strategy is kind of my thing. But beyond that, I'm a huge fan of the XCOM and XCOM 2 games. I just, I didn't play the original in 1994. I was 6 years old in 1994, but I'm still surprised I never played it, you know, on DOS and stuff when we got our first computer, which had to be like in 96 or 97 when my family got our first Packard Bell, just no longer around. I'm surprised I never played it then because I had quite a few games, SimCity, Silent Steel, all the cool like old school early days PC games. Had a lot of them. And so I'm surprised I never played it, but nonetheless, I digress. I absolutely love these games. And I just thought, you know, this would be a really cool, brand new game to check out. So without further ado, I'm not going to go through the tutorial again because I did go through it already. I'm just going to jump into it. I will explain things kind of as we go. But if you're familiar with the XCOM series, it's going to make a lot of sense too. There are some new mechanics. One thing that I've noticed that I can't figure out anywhere is there's no hit probabilities. There's no hit percentages. Like in the XCOM series, you get like a dice roll and you'd be able to see your hit percentage chance. I don't think that that's displayed unless I'm just totally missing something. But so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump in a new game. We are going to be using the hero mode just because I'm pretty familiar with these types of games. I am not going to do this. I'm not going to do the tutorial, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and start the game and we'll get right into it. But yeah, the premise, I mean, people who are familiar with the XCOM series, a lot of this will look very, very familiar to you. It's just the mechanics, the turn-based, the movement,
the Phoenix Project was
everything like that. So I will shut up now and let this go a little bit,
to end all wars
just because it's kind of the story.
But there were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think in terms of nations and empires. For a time, the Phoenix Project successfully navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the heavens were not off limits. But out there, on the far
Phoenix Project
side
was a
of
big
the
deal.
moon began our downfall. The failure of the Phoenix 2 mission exposed us to our enemies in the UN. Stripped of resources and scattered to the winds, we were reduced to a secret, a memory.
The guy
When
narrating
the Pandora virus
reminds me so much
should have been the first
of the
line
narrations
defense.
from the
When
original
huge
Total
clouds of
Annihilation
mist
game,
appeared
way back
over
in the
sea,
day,
when
real-time
people
strategy.
started vanishing, we should have figured out what was going on. And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to fight, but we failed. The ecosystem started to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sanhedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
Right? Phoenix Project, Rise from the Ashes, makes sense. I like it. So, we skipped the tutorial mission and we jumped right into the game. the tutorial mission kind of just tells you how to move. It helps you get to the base. It's like just a couple missions where you have to like quote unquote earn your way into the base, right? So everything's kind of made for you. This is like when I started my other game, it's funny because I'm surprised there's not at least one tune-up mission, but I guess if you don't do the tutorial, you know, it just kind of is what it is. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is pretty familiar, right? Vehicle-based satellite uplink. You can build new stuff here, right? I mean, this is kind of like in the second XCOM game, you have the ship, or you have your base in the first XCOM game. Same thing, personnel. Here are all my dudes, right? We got specialization, so we got a heavy trooper here. We've got a sniper here, and we've just got 2 standard assault guys right here, right? And we can customize them as well, which we probably will do. We're not going to transfer them because we have absolutely no where to transfer them to. We just have you start with one base, but apparently you can like develop more bases around the world. It's an interesting aspect. There's not just like a single, you know, base point, which is I thought was really interesting, different from XCOM indeed. So you got your equipment that you start with, and we will do some customization to our guys before we go out and actually do something. We're gonna start some research just to like get that going. That's the only one we have available to us. And if we go to our geoscape, this is kind of like, you know, the planet, right? In XCOM, right? You just got this big geoscape. And part of this is you start off like, and everything's like really foggy, right? There's like fog of war type stuff. Here is our actual base. I think it's plopped us in South America. The interesting thing is I think that the starting point is actually randomized, because I believe in my other game that I just started to get a feel for the game, we actually started out in like Asia, I think. So, you know, it just kind of gives you a random starting point. You got your ship here, which you can move around. And then the interesting thing about it too is you can do scans, right? You can do scans that will help you like reveal areas. Now, we already have 3 areas available to us, so we don't need to do one, right? So, I don't know why I just did that. Yeah, you don't have any scan area uses remaining. Yeah, that was probably stupid, but it will reveal more stuff, right? So if I hit go right now, you can see that little scan starts. It starts expanding this stuff. Now we can go explore these sites. I think that the scanning is to reveal other sites, right? So we'll go ahead and just finish this research nonetheless. Just to give you guys an idea. So here we go. Finish our research. Reprogram the satellite system revealed the extent of the new mist outbreak. Right, so the mist is this stuff that's like infecting people, right? The origin of site to coastal region, blah, blah, blah. Our geoscape monitoring system update the mist coverage. So now we'll see like when there's mist outbreaks, right? Pretty cool. I do not know what that red is, but it looks very dangerous and very interesting. So, oh, these are probably the mist outbreaks then, huh? So very interesting. So anyway, what we'll probably do is just go explore some of these sites. I'm going to load up on our personnel first. I'm going to go here and add some more research. So the Phoenix Archives is like what they recommend to start doing, because they are the batch of encrypted files, the mainframe of the newly acquired Phoenix base. Right, so in the tutorial, you kind of like take the base back, right? Kill a couple enemies, blah, blah, blah. And you're trying to piece together, you know, what happened to the Phoenix project. Interestingly enough, I wonder if both of these will go at the same time. What if there's like looks like the research queue, so I'm guessing it only does one at a time, but you can queue different things up. I haven't tried doing that yet. So interestingly enough, here is our resources up here, you guys. So there's stores, right? Use capacity. There's how many people we can keep, right? So we have 4 soldiers right now. We can have 8. We can have a couple vehicles. Here's the number of Phoenix Point aircraft we can control. Here's our food, our materials, and our tech. And what you'll see about that is everything that you manufacture, whether it's armor or vehicles or weaponry, right? This vehicle, for example, would cost 420 materials and 60 of our tech, right? Everything has a you know, a price, essentially. Here's the equipment stuff. So this would be like guns and ammunition and medipacks. This would be like your standard armor, and then there's vehicles, right? So these are manufacturing. You go over here to diplomacy. We have not established contact with any other of the 3 factions yet. Now, apparently there will be events and stuff like that, but I'm going to be learning with you guys because I literally played the first 2 tutorial missions, and now I'm jumping into this first time ever just like you guys. So we're going to be learning. I guess that's the way to do it because there's some cool surprises along the way. And I think it's confirmed. We are researching the Phoenix Archive, so we just had queued that up, right? So it's no big deal. Pretty cool. So, anyway, here's the Manticore. It is our aircraft, created by NASA engineers using bleeding-edge technology. The Phoenix Manticore is the pinnacle of modern aeronautics. Twin, non-afterburning fan jet engines covered in blah, 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 right? So it can transport up to 6 soldiers, 500 speed, durability, blah, blah, blah. So if I go back to personnel, now, I haven't figured out yet quite how to recruit people, because I don't think it's as easy as just grabbing somebody. I think you have to like go to locations to do it, right? Very interesting. So anyway, yeah, you can see these guys. It's giving me this warning because they all have different equipment slots. Now, we don't have any. We have only 10 experience available to us. If you do a tutorial, you get 12. But still, that's not enough to actually do any sort of training. So it's not that really big of a deal. What we really want to do is we want to get our soldiers ready. Now, this heavy cannon guy, this thing comes with ammo capacity 6 out of 6. So for what I discovered with the heavy guy is if you give him a med kit, he can't then have extra ammo. So I thought that the better way to do it was to actually just give this guy some extra ammo and a hand grenade. So that's what we're going to go with for him. For our first assault trooper, right, standard rifle configuration, what we're going to do here is we're going to give him a med kit, and then we're going to give him some extra ammo on the body. Now, let's talk about this for a second. So, when there's it's a little different from XCOM in how equipment works. So in XCOM, the equipment that you equip to a guy is ready to go right away, no matter what. And you'll see as we get into combat that the action points and the will points and stuff like that works a little different than XCOM, right? Movement works a little different. Everything uses point system, this action point system. If an item is in the ready, you can use it, and it uses an action point to use. It'll have different items will have different costs, right? It says hands to use, right? So you only need one arm to use it. It has one weight, but everything costs like a single action, right? An action point or multiple action points in the case of firing the gun, right? Action says action points right there, 2. Same thing with this. It's action points 2. Same thing with medkit. It does not say the action points. Interesting, but I believe it's 1. I think it's just 1. But anyway, the reason that's important is because things are in the ready, they're just ready to go. If something is on your body, you're carrying it with you. And I'm going to give him an extra med kit just so we have it with us. But in order to use it, if it wasn't in my ready, I would have to spend an action point to ready that item for like ammo, right? But since he has 16 encumbrance, right? So he has 16 slots to carry shit, of 16 weight pips, I guess we can call it. He's only using 15 right now. So I could give him some more ammo, right? And he would still be able to do this. Now, I can put more stuff with him, but then he's going to suffer a movement penalty. So you rarely want to ever do that because movement is very important. If you've ever played the XCOM games, movement is super, super duper important, you guys. So that's how I'm going to do him. Everyone's getting a minute. Everyone who's not that other guy, I want to max them out. Lots of ammo, lots of med kits, except my heavy guy. And here's my heavy guy. He's full, and then my sniper as well. Give him the last med kit. Let's give him a little more sniper ammo actually on the ready because it's really important that we always have our sniper ready to go. And then maybe we'll give him a grenade to hang on to in his backpack, right? Now I can even give him more sniper ammo just because he's got the room for it. So let's do it. We have nothing else to put on him right now. Basis is going well. Fabrication plant. Now, I wonder, demolish, power off. Okay, so that's the actual power consumption of the individual stuff. So we have a medical bay, an access lift, a living quarters. We have 4 build slots right now. Just out of general curiosity, what could we build? Could build a store. I don't know. Do we not have a store? We do not have a store. What would a store do? A storage facility for all weapons, ammo, armor, and storage capacity is shared across all bases. Okay, I don't think we need to do that. Access lift, deployment point for defense missions, and escape route if things go badly. Okay, very interesting. Food production. food production facility that generates enough food for 8 soldiers each day. Interesting. So if I wanted to increase, right, my capacity to have soldiers, that would be the way to do that. And then what we get? We got energy generator. That's obvious, right? Just allows you to build more buildings and living quarters. All soldiers at the base, even if assigned to an aircraft, will recover 2 stamina per hour for each living quarters in the base. Excellent. So we've got one. I think it'd be smart not to build anything right away, just to see how things go as we progress. Interesting. Banshee, Legon. Okay, so it's all the sniper stuff, right? Odin, and then Gollum, right, which is our heavy guy. So everybody's got their own little armor, right? We've got Scarab. Now, another cool thing that this game adds that was, there was obviously the mech soldiers that you could augment in XCOM, the expansion for the first game, and then obviously it was carried in the second game as well. I believe it was. I can't quite remember 100% though. I believe it was. But then now these just have straight up vehicles. And these vehicles will assist us in combat, right? We can get into them. We can move them around. It's a fighting vehicle. I don't know if it has a weapon system on it because I didn't get that far. But anyway, no big deal. So let's just get into it. I know people are probably like, well, let's get on with it, right? Well, we've got 2 places to discover. So how you do it is you are literally in control of your plane. So here we go. We're just going to move over there. When we're there, we have to actively explore the site to identify what it actually is. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, hey, and while we're doing that, you see my satellite scan was expanding from the base. So as time progressed, that was doing more scan as well. And we identified another area right over there. So the fire within, Kalhu. At the Disciples of Anu Haven of Kalu, a mutated worm infestation is causing serious problems. The locals have placed their hopes in the Taxic Arc Nergal, the Disciples' greatest military hero. But Nergal is said to be fighting a series of pitched battles against the Pandorans, has been unable to help. We eradicate the infestation ourselves, helping the Haven, creating good first impression with this faction. So, the Disciples of Anu, they want our help. If we help them, we'll get some good graces, possibly some cool stuff. So, I say we do it. Let's do it. Get into our first battle here. We're ready to go. Everyone's geared up, health and stamina. That's another thing that's interesting too. And we'll get into that as well. You guys have to heal to get their hit points back, and that's only happens in between missions. And another thing that's interesting too is you can lose access to body parts. I don't think they can get fully removed permanently, but what they can do, I don't know what this does. Oh no, it just brings them on the mission. Okay, so it slots them in, right? We're gonna bring all 4 of our guys, absolutely. But you can lose access to limbs, which can impact your. There's some cool added dynamics to this. The one thing I will say before we start this mission is, bear with me. This is a small studio, so the game lacks a little bit of that finer polish that you would expect from a AAA release, like Firaxis Studios, who does Civilization, right? They're the XCOM studio. And they've got that AAA money, budget, all that great, amazing stuff that comes with AAA games. And that polish really comes off when you play the XCOM games. Now, this game looks great. It plays great. So far, it's really nice. I heard the camera angles can get a little weird, but they could in XCOM too. But, just bear in mind, it's a small studio. That's why it's $40 versus $60. But I really do think that just on my initial impressions, apparently it gets a lot more in-depth and a lot better, and even has some cool surprises as you go along. But my initial impressions are, hey, this is a really good foundation. If this studio is dedicated to improving this game, the new DLC and kind of just improving the interface and stuff like that, this game has a lot of potential to be pretty great, possibly even better than the latest XCOM 2 game, XCOM 2, which is absolutely fantastic, especially like War of the Chosen and stuff like that. So there's just my initial impressions, and we'll continue to kind of go over some of that stuff as we go, but let's get on with it, shall we? Heavy weapons weigh more and are held at waist level. Yes, and also that's another thing too. Heavy weapons also take 3 action points, 3 of your soldiers' baseline 4 to fire. So you can't move really far distances and shoot your heavy weapons. So that's something to keep in mind when you're positioning your heavy weapons. Excellent. So, very standard control mechanism, you guys. WSAD for the movement, Q and E kind of move your camera around. I don't make anybody sick. The scroll button brings you up levels, just like in the XCOM series. And then I believe it's T and G are the zoom, right? So also very similar to the XCOM series. as well. Now, I tend to like my zoom a little bit wider just to get a really good idea of the battlefield. But here are my 4 guys. Tab, slots between guys. I mean, honestly, the control mechanisms, you guys, are just, they're so similar to XCOM. It's fantastic. Well, I mean, it's fantastic in the sense that the XCOM controls were really good. So, you know, it's nice. And I'll just say, like I said, about the visual quality, like, you know, for a non-AAA release, you guys, I mean, this is pretty good stuff. I mean, you can tell they dumped a lot of money and time into just making high quality assets. It's good. Is it like the visually best game you've ever seen in your life? No. But it wasn't going to be. It's just an awesome game by the creator. And honestly, look, this is the release, right? These crowd-funded games, you know, they take time to develop. Lots of different stuff. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, we'll continue to talk about it as we go on. Not wanting, of course, to beat a dead horse. I think this is our extraction point. If you remember from the XCOM series, this would be like your ship, and the ship would pick you up. I'm pretty sure this is the extraction point. I am not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. But certainly, I'm pretty sure it is. So you can see, everybody's got this is their health bar, this is my armor, and these are my 4 action points, right? So what this blue circle tells you, which was kind of cool, what this blue area is, this is where I can go and still shoot. Because I would still have 2 action points. Yellow, kind of like sprinting in XCOM, is where I wouldn't be able to shoot, but I'd still have an action point to possibly move again, right? So what I'm going to do is, my idea, I always like to get my guys in a position where they can shoot. And look at, if you saw it right there, it will stop your movement when an enemy is spotted. I think that is so cool, because in XCOM what it would do is, it would trigger the enemy scene, they would get to kind of be surprised and move around, and then you would still finish your turn, and you could just get yourself into horrible situations that way. So, you know what? Now that I know that this, and I have my heavy guy right here, and he can move right here and shoot this guy, I'm going to do that.
Enemy spotted.
Oh, another enemy? Oh, man. So, what I might do is, let's go here with the heavy again, because now we know we can shoot. Could throw a grenade. This is another cool thing too. So the heavy guys have jetpacks by default. Now I know that in the XCOM series you could actually get jetpacks eventually as a type of armor, I believed, that would allow you, oftentimes used on snipers and stuff like that, but not in here. So now what we want to do, so it's funny. Oh yes, so since I moved my heavy, the only type of actual combat move he could do is throw a grenade. So I'm not going to do that yet. I want to see what my other guys can do before I commit to doing that. Now, I could move here and still shoot that guy right there. So I think I might actually do that. Give me a clear shot. You can see that little shot thing right there. Excellent. So let's move here. Let's hit fire. So now we get to, and this is a little bit different. So I could just straight up fire my weapon. It looks like, you know, it looks like we take out his entire thing. Damage 30x6 shots, right? So this does 30 damage x6 times. He only has 50 health points, which is indicated by right here. He'd be dead. But I can also do is if I use my scroll, I can actually target individual body parts. Now, this little fireworm only has a single body part, but this is kind of one of the cooler parts of the game. And you can see if the weapon is more accurate, you will actually see the sights get smaller. And what I'm pretty sure about this is that circle right there, depending on where I click, represents all the places my bullets could go. So I could miss, right? I could miss. But notice how I don't see anywhere on this screen right now that tells me what my percentage chance of hitting this thing is. Right? It just says, and just like that, if I hit exit that and go here, I could just do a standard fire. So I'm just going to do a standard fire because he only has one body part. But that is really interesting, isn't it? I thought that was very interesting. How this is almost like a hit probability in its own sense, because this is all where my bullets can go, despite not giving me a percentage chance of hitting this thing. A little bit different than XCOM, to be certain. And I think this is the same thing for like zoom in and look. Yeah. So I'm just going to do this to show you guys, but it's kind of cool. So grab as much meat as I can there. He hit him. See how some of my bullets hit and some of them missed? I only needed 2 of them to hit to do 60 damage to kill him. But pretty cool. Another thing too, once I shoot, my turn's not over. I still have 1 action point, which allows me to move a certain distance, right? So if I'm a little worried about this guy coming in and getting me, I can go ahead and take some cover right here, which I will. And then I can hit spacebar and stand by that guy's turn. Very cool. I really think... Oh, that was a total accident. I did not mean to do that. So that was pretty stupid. Now this guy, once again, pretty good. I can move right here and shoot that guy. Now, there's supposedly another enemy, but I don't see the other worm anywhere. Because I see 2 enemies right... Oh, one pretty far away. Ah, yes. So you go with that. Okay, so I can see that guy, but I'm not really worried about him because he's really far away. I'm going to come right here and see if I can get a nice shot on this guy. Now, obviously I'm out of cover, and that's not an ideal scenario, but... Ooh, where is he? Ooh, he's kind of... Oh, there he is. Okay. Ideal scenario being out of cover, but it's okay because these guys are pretty... These guys are pretty weak. All I need is a couple shots, and I'm not too worried about them doing a ton of damage to us. Excellent. We just killed the second worm. They've got this worm infestation. Remember, that's what they told us. So now that I have my sniper, and I'm not really worried about him getting hit by anything, and I want to get him in a good position, possibly up here to start sniping some guys, I'm going to bring him right up here.
Hostile spotted.
Yep, there's a hostile. That's okay. I still want to bring you up on here, possibly. You know what? Stay here so you're in cover. And hunker down. Actually, that's hunker down. I use that terminology loosely just because of XCOM. But I mean, it's fine. He shouldn't be able to get you. I don't know what his movement range is, but we should be okay. And then let's just move the rest of our crew up. Excellent. Yeah, enemy spotted. Yep, there's that enemy up there. So there's only 2 guys we have so far. Let's go ahead and go on standby. Okay, so no more action points left, right. End your turn. So here we got these little wormies. They can't move very far, but there's a ton of them. Yeah, see, here they are. So it's just a worm infestation. Weak enemies, but a lot of them. A lot of them indeed. Just want to make sure we kill as many of them before they get close to us, right? That's going to be the real objective of this one. Yeah, there they are. Tons of them, you guys. Tons of them. They're everywhere. Now, once again, yeah, so you're actually in really good position. Why don't you start shooting some of these guys? So, a lot of targets available, right? I could get even more targets available to me if I go up there, but I think what I'll do is just shoot this one. Or I could go up, switch my weapon, because this only takes, you know what? This only takes 1, but what's the damage? The interesting thing would be the damage. So, what if I went up here? Let's move up here, because we can still shoot our sniper rifle if we feel like it. But, what if I wanted to fire with just my pistol?
Taking aim.
How much damage does my pistol do? Damage, 1 times 50. Very interesting. So I could shoot this thing multiple times in this turn if I wanted to. Because I see a ton of these things. So, I might do that. The interesting thing, though, is this is only at 1 action point. I have plenty of ammo. Let's do it. Excellent. 1 down. I can fire again. Let's find one that's a little more... That one's pretty exposed. What do I got? Hey, a decent chance we hit it. I missed. Let's try again. Got him. Bam. So right there, because I have action points, I can shoot more than once. And that is a huge difference between this game and the other XCOM series. Now, because this guy is getting kind of close, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to use an action point to go there. So, pretty freaking sweet, guys. Like, I am digging those kind of flexible mechanics of this game a little more than I dug the XCOM series. Seriously. So the cool thing is, once again, this guy, he can only see 1 enemy. So he actually won't be able to shoot more than once this turn. But since he can only see 1 enemy, I might just shoot this guy and maybe get into position to shoot somebody else later. Now, I will say as well, 2 of these guys are pretty close. Oh, dang it. Why did I do that? 2 of these guys are pretty close to each other. Why don't I fire my grenade? I mean, I moved into position. That won't be a problem, because I'll just be able to kill these guys right here. Boom. Done. And another thing I love about this too is look at those destruction mechanics. Pretty cool. Lots of destruction in this game, just like it should be. You are almost out of action points. You can take some more cover, which I might have you do, but it's not that big of a deal because these guys aren't... We're going to be able to kill most of these guys here pretty soon. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and stand you by. Now, this guy... He has 4 action points right now. Or excuse me, she has 4 action points right now. And so what I might do is I might just try to smoke 2 of these guys right away. Excellent. 1 down. And, hey, why not 1 more? Excellent. 2 down, you guys. 1 turn. Once again, that's one of the coolest parts of this game, you guys, because I am able to kill multiple guys. Now, if I move here... Would you be able to shoot? It says you'd be able to do something. Probably just throw a grenade. Because right now... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, don't do that. So, right. Now it tells me this is the only place I'd be able to move and still fire at somebody. And that's actually not that good right now. Now, I don't think we have any more... Do we have any more of those things behind us? No. I think we've killed everything behind us. So now it's really just about moving up into a better position. I think I'm going to move right over here to get a really good vantage point for my shots on my next turn. Just go ahead and left click there. That's the one thing. I can't left click to think that that's going to end my, like, exit that whatever view I'm in. There we go. End of our turn. Once again. Lots of these little buggers. The nice thing is, if we get out of here without taking any damage, we come out unscathed. That's really the ideal. Now, I don't know if there's any advantage, you guys, to doing this quickly. I don't know. Alright, so let's get up here. Get that little pistol of yours out. Hit F. And shoot it. Point blank range. I like it. Now, you can't shoot anybody, but you could probably get in position to shoot that guy next turn. So, why don't we just come down here? Oh, we might even be able to shoot him. Just try, at least try to shoot him, right? Why not? Got him. So there you go, my sniper with the pistol. The cool thing about that pistol is it only takes 1. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fire my main cannon on this guy. Probably way overkill, you guys. But hey, why not? Excellent. 180 damage. Way overkill, but I like it nonetheless. So now I think it's probably best to more aggressively move our troops up here. Get into some better firing positions and see if we can scout any of these other guys out. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anybody around. Let's keep moving up. There's the one. Excellent. You don't have enough to fire anyway, so why don't we just take an action point and reload your firearm. Excellent. Got 2 more magazines left. That's really good. I wonder if they work like traditional magazines too.
Got to be quick.
Move him up. And why not? I'm not really worried about being exposed. These guys don't have weapons. So, not really worried about that. Yep, out of action points, ending our turn. So these guys will all be, like, alerted and be rolling up. Yeah, let's move you up. Oh, let's move you up on this other side. Like here. Can you shoot him? No. Okay. Then you just... No, we'll just go to somebody else. Move you up here. Excellent. And just like that, I think we won. Outstanding. So pretty simple mission. I'm assuming in the beginning here, they're going to be pretty easy. There we go. We got some level up. We got a bunch of XPs. We got some more skills. Excellent. awesome, very successful first mission. But I think that the main thing is just kind of exploring some of the new mechanics, showing you how the game is really similar, but also trying how it's very different from the XCOM series as well. Normally, when we encounter a potential ally, we first send the apostle to once born.
Is the only one who has any real answers.
Okay.
Tobias West may be clever and Synedrian may sound great, but only the Exalted is dealing with the world as it actually is. She can lead us out of this mess. Give us lives worth living.
So interesting. I wonder what this means. We'd like to know more. We are not ready to put faith in your dogma. Let's just see. We'd like to know more.
If you want to work with us, you'll still have to deal with the hierarchy.
Work your way up from the apostle to the once born. That's hard work.
The threshold,
okay.
all the way up to the Synod of Yearning and the Exalted herself. That's hard work.
Okay, so we just got we got good attitude from them, and we got 400 food. Very interesting.
And if the Synod gives you trouble,
there we go. So we know what this is. It's the Disciples of Anu. It is their haven. We know what it is now. Excellent. So we could go back home, or we could just continue on our merry way. Now, I think that the idea is we don't need to go home. I don't think for any reasons. We have a fireworm and the Disciples of Anu, said to have been a series of cultists before the second, third war. The Disciples of Anu have grown to be one of the most powerful that are left in the world. Not much to know about the religion, other than that they embrace the mutations brought in by the Pandora virus, and are ruled by a leader known as only as the Exalted. Very interesting. Bonus effects. I think, though, we can now recruit soldiers from Havens. Right. So Haven recruitment protocols, that's going to be pretty important. Phoenix Archives kind of is starting to tell us more about the main story, so I think it's really important we keep doing that. But I think the Fireworm Autopsy, I'm going to want to get more materials is always better, so I'm going to queue that up as well. And then we'll queue that up as our fourth one. So no research available. We've only completed the atmospheric analysis. Everything's going really well. We've got a couple of level ups. Let's go to training. So here we go. We could get 50% bonus healing and 25 willpower, or we can get extreme hope as Overwatch cost is reduced by 1 action point. Do we have enough to do both? We totally do. So let's use that and then get that as well. And there we go. So Soldier XP, Phoenix XP. Interesting. Okay. So I'm wondering, so this is my sniper who just got those. We've got that's assault training. We've got dash. Dash. Move to a target position within half the normal movement range. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and spend that. That's the only thing we have with this guy. Interestingly enough, too, we can add to our like willpower and stuff like that using their points as well, right? So it's skills and other stuff. So increasing their strength increases the amount of stuff they can hold, right? I think. Strength determines the maximum hit points and the weight that can be carried. Exactly, how far things can be thrown. Speed, it's always really nice to have faster guys, I've found. Let's actually go back to the sniper as well and see if we can spend any experience points on this. Willpower is good because will points will come really into effect later on. And maybe just one more speed. That's always nice to have. Having guys that can travel farther, guys, is really, really important. Excellent. Really, no Sojo XP for that guy. Really. This guy's got 17. Okay. Must not have killed anybody, right? Or just not enough guys? So it must be based on their statistics in battle. Now, the one thing I did see online that was a little bit disappointing, I think I was reading the Eurogamer review. There's no soldier stats right now, which is really a bummer. I assume that will be added in a later patch, right? I mean, maybe go on Reddit and be like, we just really need soldier stats. And I'm sure that they'll eventually get that going as well. But hey guys, we are gonna have to put a cut in this video, but we'll continue pick this up next time. Maybe go check out another one of these sites as we're kind of doing some more scanning. Just because all of our guys are 100% healthy, their stamina is a little low, so we could. You know what we'll do? We'll actually return to the base. Burn off a little bit of time, and then I believe by just simply staying here and burning off a little time, they will actually recover some of their stamina. So let's go a little bit. Yep, fully healed and resting. Right, crew of Manicore 1. So you can see now, if I go to personnel, they're all ready to go. Now, their stamina wasn't very low to begin with, but apparently the longer an engagement is, the longer a mission is, the more stamina they lose, right? So you might be able to do a couple missions while you're out and about, but then you'll eventually have to do that. But like I said, guys, I do have to go put a cut in this video. Thank you so much for coming out. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying taking a look at this game, a little Let's Try Phoenix Point. I love these kinds of games. I've played so many hours of the XCOM series, both the first one and the second one. I actually got the second one for free. It was a PlayStation Plus game. Even though the PlayStation port of the second game is absolute water trash, I played through the entire series and a couple other things on that just because I love these games. These are right up my alley. I still play the original XCOM with the expansion Enemy Within, which is the expansion for the first one. I still play that. So that's how much I love these games. I hope you guys do too. If you guys are enjoying this, a like, a comment, subscribe is all the support I ever need. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.